4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon and welcome to New Bedford High School, where this afternoon the New Bedford Cable Network is proud to present girls high school softball action. It's the homestanding Whalers of New Bedford High School taking on the Brockton Boxers. Joe Cabral joined today by Pete Braley for the action from New Bedford High, their brand new field here on the campus of the high school. And the first game of the 2021 season for Coach Harry Lowe and his squad. And Pete, they've not played a game since 2019, with last year's spring season being a washout.
So you think that it's a team that might be a little rusty, but also it's a team that is chomping at the bit, as they have wanted to get out and play some ball. Some of the girls, of course, play summer ball, and there were some tournaments last year, but they are eager to get out here. It is their first game, number one of the season, and as you said, no games last year, but it is also their first game on this brand new field. This field was all set and ready to go for last season. The girls even came out in uniform and had a dedication along with the mayor, and then they never played on it. So it is a beautiful facility. We'll try to show you as much as we can during our broadcast today, but if you have a chance, next time you're in the vicinity of New Bedford High School, we are in the back. We are behind the gym is where the new field is. I think this used to be the JV softball field.
Yeah, brand new, certainly built up. A great improvement to what the Whalers have played on in the past here. New clay infield, so you don't have a gravel-type infield, which you find at many high school venues. So just a beautiful field here. Red fence, red and yellow trim along that fence. And
here at the backstop, they have a vinyl screen that is up, and it's imprinted with the New Bedford Whalers logo that was done by the print shop here at the school. They have dugouts that are enclosed. They have a roof over them, so in case of drizzly weather or if the sun is shining brightly, there is some shade for the girls. So it's a nice complex. There's even a press box that we're not in. Of course, COVID regulations, they want to keep as few people as possible. So the PA announcer and the man with the music is in the press box today, and we are just off to the side of the press box.
Yeah, we have a beautiful sight line, however, Pete, so we can do our own version of balls and strikes here. We
can guess someone?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we can be the New Bedford Cable Access version of electronic umpiring of the future.
Let's hope we don't have a New Bedford version of, say, Angel Hernandez, huh?
No.
Umpiring this game.
No. Okay, so New Bedford and Brockton. Brockton coming into this one, Pete, at 0-1, a 6-4 loss to Notre Dame Academy of Hingham yesterday. New Bedford had a washout yesterday. They were supposed to be on the road against Durfee, but field was unplayable, so it's the season opener for New Bedford. So we'll take a look at the Brockton Boxers lineup here this afternoon. Pete, let's go through their batting order.
Leading off is Chloe Livingston. She'll be followed by Adriana, see if I can read my own writing, Porcaras. Then it's Caroline Green, Kaomi Wormsing, bats in the cleanup position, Cadence Natal, Taylor Sprigg, Olivia Bilodeau, Abigail Bertocci, and rounding out the lineup will be Skylar O'Connell.
And setting New Bedford's lineup defensively, at first base, it'll be number 10, Annabelle Houston. The second baseman for New Bedford will be Abigail Perry. The shortstop, Sydney Ramos. The third baseman will be Essence Reyes. In left field, it'll be Perry. In center field, it'll be number 6, Jenna Noguera. And the right fielder will be number 7, Kaylee Chenard.
Pretty good day today, 64 degrees and sunshine at game time. The only concern is the wind, which is currently blowing at 17 miles an hour out of the west. But I noticed about mid-afternoon that the wind seemed to have picked up a bit today. So we'll see how that affects things. I asked Harry Lowe about the wind on this field. And, of course, they haven't played a game here, but they practice here. And he said the wind can be an issue, usually going from left to right.
Chloe Livingston.
Leading it off for Brockton, number 6, Chloe Livingston. She's the Boxers' second baseman. On the mound here for New Bedford this afternoon, their ace, number 22, Lily Gray.
And for those of you that have followed New Bedford High Lady Whalers softball, Lily Gray has been the pitcher for the past couple of years.
Fastball and a swing and a miss.
Lily started as, I believe, an 8th grader for New Bedford High, so that gave her a chance to have 5 years on the varsity team.
Here's the pitch. Missing low that time with a sinker. And it's a ball and a strike to Chloe Livingston, the second baseman. She'll be followed by the shortstop, Adriana Porcaro. No score, just underway at New Bedford High. Here's a pitch, ball fouled off to the right, out of play. A ball and 2 strikes now to the leadoff hitter for Brockton, Chloe Livingston.
You'll see Lily Gray look to her wristband. They have a system where they call out 3 numbers, and that is telling her what pitch and also where to place it.
Looks to the dugout, then checks the wristband. The 1-2 pitch. Oh, change up.
Yes.
And she did offer at it. Pitch was out of the strike zone, but on the changeup, Livingston able to hold the barrel of the bat. And she goes down on strikes, swinging. This is the shortstop, Adriana Porcaro, stepping in now. Here's Gray's pitch, swing and a miss. Has, of course, Pete, a rise ball, and then the sinker. And then you saw the changeup there to strike out Livingston.
A changeup can be deadly for some pitchers. Just set them up for a fastball and then throw the change.
There's the sinker, and it's a ball. So a ball and a strike here to Adriana Porcaro. She'll be followed by the catcher, Caroline Green. Just underway at New Bedford High. Gray's pitch, fastball, and swing and a miss for a strike. So the count, a ball and 2 strikes to Adriana Porcaro. Brockton again coming into this one at 0-1 on the season. Gray checks the wristband. Here's the pitch. Rise ball and a swing and a miss. And down on strikes, it's Porcaro. So Gray has struck out the first 2 batters here this afternoon. And now she'll face the number 3 hitter, Caroline Green.
We'll keep track of it for you. Rise ball just goes a little higher than the batter thinks. You think you've got it timed, and then all of a sudden it's just above you.
Here's Gray's pitch. Fastball for a called strike. A ball and no strikes to Caroline Green. She's the catcher and the number 3 hitter for Brockton.
Harry Lowe telling us before the game he's got a young squad, so they're really going to count on Lily and also Sydney Ramus.
Missing outside that time.
Veteran experience from Sydney. Going to count on those 2 to really lead the squad this year.
Here's Gray's pitch. Ball fouled off to the right.
Playable.
First baseman for New Bedford, Houston. But behind her, it's the second baseman, Sophia Perry, in foul territory to make the grab for the out that retires the side. So Brockton goes down in order in the first. And after a half inning of play, it's Brockton nothing, New Bedford coming to the plate.
So we'll see what the Lady Whalers can do with their first at bats. The Brockton Lady Boxers, coached by Katie Balboni. And as Joe told you, they lost their opener of the season. It was an away game in Hingham to Notre Dame Academy. They lost that 6-4. Brockton has their home opener on Friday as they will play Bridgewater Raynham.
Right field, Skylar O'Connell.
These 2 teams will see each other again May 24th when New Bedford goes to Brockton.
In center field, Ava Montero. Head coach, Katie Balboni.
Of course, this whole season was totally different with the pandemic, of course, I mean, softball normally has tryouts in mid-March, but you were still covering football at that time.
Yeah, we were, absolutely, Pete. And the difference here is, of course, it benefited the football season as far as the weather is concerned, a very shortened schedule, with most teams only playing 5 or 6 games. But it pushed all of the spring sports back a few weeks. So now you're starting the season with much better weather than they're normally used to. So softball and baseball usually starting off, as you mentioned, Pete, in March. And you get some really nasty days that you end up playing in. But here, a beautiful day, fluffy clouds overhead. The wind, again, could be a factor, but not right now. And just a beautiful venue for high school softball.
We'll see that veteran Sydney Ramos lead off for New Bedford.
Now batting for the Whalers, number 1, Sydney Ramos.
So we saw a lot of Sydney during the field hockey telecasts, and plays a lot of sports here at New Bedford High. Now on the softball field, leading it off, the shortstop. And here's Bertocci's pitch. Rise ball, foul straight back by Ramos. No balls and a strike. It's Abigail Bertocci on the mound, wearing number 3. You see again here, all of the players wearing masks. Ball fouled, and it will be back and out of play on top of the New Bedford dugout.
Just over the side of the screen.
So no balls and 2 strikes here to Ramos.
That's another thing the players have to get used to. Of course, Brockton, the visiting team, but even New Bedford, they have to get used to how much territory they have before the fence.
Yeah, not a lot of foul territory here at all. Here's a pitch and a changeup and a swing and a miss, and Ramos goes down on strikes. There was the change, Pete. That one was in the strike zone, and you can see Ramos's timing was thrown off.
Very similar to what Lily Gray threw to the first batter in the first inning, top of the first for Brockton.
Here's Kaylee Chenard, the right fielder, stepping in. Lines one to left field. There, the left fielder for Brockton, Natal, makes the grab for the out. Ball was fairly well hit there by Chenard on a line, but directly at the left fielder, Natal. And there's 2 away here for New Bedford in the bottom of the first.
Brings up the catcher, Amelia Davis.
Here's the pitch from Bertocci.
Looked good, and it was a strike.
And a call strike. Very late signal here from the home plate umpire, but it looked like a strike, and it was a strike. Here's the pitch from Bertocci. Ball popped on the infield. Shortstop Boccaro on the right side of the infield as he drifted over. The ball did blow from left to right. She made the grab on the second base side of second base for the out that retires the side. So New Bedford goes down quickly in order in the first, and after an inning of play, we have a scoreless ball game.
Lily Gray will come out to pitch the second inning for the Lady Whalers, and I would assume maybe the Butterflies have calmed down a bit. I would think if you've got, you had an entire season that was called off last year. I'm sure she played some summer ball. I know she's a travel ball player.
You're certainly excited about playing for sure.
Yeah, but then to have that first game come up, I gotta think that she spent a good deal of the day just waiting for 4 o'clock to arrive.
There, she really in the warm-up there let her fastball go.
And if you joined us right at the top, you might have seen the first pitch ceremony. There were 3 of the players from last year's team that did not have a chance to play. Harry Lowe was more concerned for them last year than he was anything else. He had 6 seniors, and 5 of them, this was last year, 5 of them would have been 4-year varsity players, and 4 of them would have been 4-year varsity players.
Yeah, unfortunate for those young high school student athletes who missed out on their senior year.
And the situation they're going to have this year, Joe, is with the fact that softball and baseball and all the spring sports are starting a little later, they're going to end later too. if New Bedford should get into the playoffs and advance, they could actually be playing until July 3rd.
And that's absolutely right. So you'd have students who've graduated from high school
Right.
still playing high school sports. Any seniors who've graduated.
Because aren't they done with classes by about this time, or maybe mid-May for a senior?
For seniors,
Yeah.
you'll get here closer next week or so, at the very latest. Leading it off for Brockton, it'll be the number 4 hitter, the first baseman, Kaomi Wernsing. Stepping in from the left side, and here's Lily Gray's pitch, and a fastball and a swing and a miss by Wernsing. You can see she has a powerful swing. Was right on that pitch from Gray, so do not be surprised to see a changeup here. Pete, here's Gray's pitch. Swing and the
Kept
foul
it
back. Wernsing again right on it. When you foul one straight back, the old rule of thumb is you're right on the pitch.
Yep.
So no balls and 2 strikes quickly to Kaomi Wernsing. She'll be followed by the left fielder, Cadence Natal.
Wernsing, the first left-hander that Lily has faced.
There was the changeup,
Yeah.
but it misses low.
It's one of those pitches you let go right about at your leg. And if you hold it too long, on just a split second, hold it too long or let it go too soon, everything changes.
Here's the pitch. And a fastball, rise ball, swing and a miss. Wernsing goes down on strikes.
Third strikeout of the afternoon for Wernsing.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Cadence Natal. Gray has looked good so far here this afternoon for New Bedford.
Natal had some action in the last inning with that fly ball to left. Just outside from the home plate umpire.
Ball and no strikes to Cadence Natal. She'll be followed by the third baseman, Taylor Sprague. Here's Gray's pitch. Ball fouled back. Out of play.
New ball field. I had to figure out a new place to park.
Yes.
As,
Very, very important.
we never like to park too close to the field.
No. I parked well away from the field, as I've seen many incident where a ball goes crashing off the top of a car, or sometimes even the windshield. Here's Gray's pitch. Swing and a miss by Natal. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes to Cadence Natal. That was the changeup that time. You could see her timing thrown off entirely. Indeed, Dan in the truck is saying heads up here. He'll be calling it out to the crew as the van is nearby.
Oh.
And production van, there's a ball in the dirt. Swing and a miss by Natal. She'll get to first base as the ball went past the New Bedford catcher Davis. And so with that, Brockton has their first base runner of the afternoon. So credit Natal, credit Gray with a strikeout of Natal, but she reaches on the pass ball. And so she's on first base with 1 away. Here's Gray's pitch, missing low.
I have a question to ask you when we're in between innings about the drop third strike.
Yeah, let's certainly we can do that. We like to have those questions where we were challenged with the nuances of the game. Here's the pitch from Gray, misses. So 2 balls. Check that. Looked like the umpire called a ball. I didn't see a strike signal, but they changed it to a strike on the scoreboard. So a bit confused here. Could be 2 balls and no strikes. Here's Gray's pitch. This is low. Runner is off. Guys throw there by Davis, and in time. So Davis with a fine throw there, and Natal is caught stealing. So Brockton being aggressive there, and a great throw by the catcher Davis. And there's 2 away now.
Good throw, and Sidney Ramos, the veteran, applying the tag at the end to sit the runner down.
So 2 balls and a strike now to Taylor Sprague. Here's Gray's pitch.
Strike.
Call strike, and the scoreboard says 2 balls and 2 strikes, but Gray thought she had struck out, Sprague thought she had struck out, but she has to come back. The umpire said, no, we'll give you another one.
So you had it right before.
Yes.
And the scoreboard did not.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. 2 away for Brockton here in the second. Here's Gray's pitch. There's the changeup. Had Sprague leaning. Her timing totally thrown off, but the pitch stayed high. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Sprague. She'll be followed by the designated player, Olivia Bilodeau. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes is Sprague. 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Lily Gray, and Brockton is retired in the second. So Brockton, no runs, no hits, no errors, and for New Bedford, and no one left on base after an inning and a half. We're still scoreless.
So my question about the drop third strike goes back to Major League Baseball. I think it was last week. See Lily Gray here once again. As you know, the batter was all set, thought she had it, but no, strike 3. So in Major League Baseball, I think it was last week, we number one, we've had a couple of no-hitters this year. What, about 4 so far? But one of those was almost a perfect game, with the exception of the pitcher was blamed for a wild pitch. It was a dropped third strike, which allowed the batter to get on first base. Now, that batter on first base tried to steal second,
and was caught.
He was thrown out, just like we saw here.
Just as we saw. It's still...
The pitcher still faced 27 batters.
But it's not a perfect game.
Because of that drop third strike.
Yeah, perfect game, no one reaches under any circumstance, whether it's an error or in the case of a pass ball or a wild pitch on a third strike. So it's kind of crazy, but that's the rule. Even though, as you mentioned, Pete, they faced the minimum of 27 batters. And did you see the former Red Sox lefty Wade Miley pitched a no-hitter?
Yes.
Here in the last week or so.
And there was also, was it Madison Baumgartner who threw a 7-inning perfect game or no-hitter?
Doesn't count, doesn't get recorded. Lily Gray leads it off for New Bedford against Bertocci here in the second. Takes a pitch for a strike.
Not only is Lily the ace of the staff, but she's also a power hitter. She can drive that ball deep to the outfield. And obviously why she's batting 4th.
That's exactly why. It's a ball and a strike now to Gray. Here's Bertocci's pitch. A swing and a miss on a high fastball, foul straight back.
And I still duck. I don't know why.
Force of habit.
Force of habit, I duck. Even those videos you're watching on your phone and they get a foul back and it breaks the camera, I still think it's going to hit me.
through the phone.
I'm on a phone in the living room. Why did I why did you
flinch?
Away?
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes here now to Gray. Abigail Bertocci. Here's her pitch. Gray fouled one straight back. Looked like she had a pitch to hit. She had to shake her head a little bit there. That ball was right in her wheelhouse.
Harry Lowe coaching for the Whalers. I lost track of what year this is. We're well into the 30s.
I think we all have.
There's
Gray lacing one into left field. That'll fall for a base hit, and Natal over to grab it. Get the ball back in. So it'll be the first hit of the afternoon for either squad. A single for Gray to lead off the second for New Bedford.
Now Harry's going to put the courtesy runner in. You can do this for the pitcher or catcher in softball. It's not a substitution. She's just a courtesy runner number 5. So that Lily doesn't get worn out running the bases or possibly hurt on a slide.
That's why you do it. So New Bedford with the leadoff runner on, and that's Aliana Arias, a sophomore. So Arias on first now.
Usually it's somebody with speed. You can guess by Aliana's build that she's got speed.
Here's a bunt down the third base line. It'll roll foul. Abigail Perry, left fielder at the plate.
Good bunt, just a little too much to the left side. And what you're really hoping in a situation like that, and we saw it, nobody covered third. So that gives Aliana running a chance to not slow down to second and just go all the way to third.
Third baseman Sprague is way in. Fouling it back is Perry off the netting. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. third baseman Sprague for Brockton is more than halfway in, Pete. So if you bunted it directly at her, you'd have a hard time getting that runner to second base. Is a foul pop. Let's see, the third baseman Sprague in fair territory, can't handle it. That'll be a fair ball. They have a chance to get the runner at second, and they do. So Arias had not gotten off the bag, and she was not able to get there in time. And Harry Lowe is telling her that, you know, you're not going to go halfway there, but in a case like that, a foul ball or a ball on the infield that's drifting into fair territory, you get off about a third of the way, Pete, just so that if the ball does fall, you were able to get to second base.
You see, the wind got a hold of that. We've been talking about the wind since the start of the game, and the wind actually blew that ball back into fair territory.
So it ends up being a fielder's choice, 5-4. As a ball chopped at the plate by the first baseman, Annabelle Houston. Houston is the number 7 hitter. Number 6 hitter for New Bedford, first baseman. So Whalers with a runner on first still, and swing and a miss by Houston. And she goes down on strikes. So second strikeout of the afternoon for Bertocci. And Essence Reyes, the third baseman for New Bedford, now steps in.
So going back to bunt play with a runner on first base, depending on what coverage you call, swings at the first pitch. Depending on what coverage the coach calls, if the third baseman is charging for the bunt and there is a runner on first, many times you'll see the left fielder come and cover third.
Here's the pitch, and Reyes tries to drop it down the line. Ball rolls into foul territory. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to Essence Reyes.
Now in that play, they had the shortstop wandering over towards third. So there are 2 or 3 different plays you can have with a runner on first and a bunting situation.
Here's a ball fouled off to our right and out of play. Count holds at no balls and 2 strikes to Essence Reyes. The runner on first is Abigail Perry. She reached on a fielder's choice.
The holdup, we're waiting for a new game ball to come in.
Looks like
Harry Lowe throws it in.
They were short a few game balls here right now. So
well, unlike baseball, they start with 2 game balls, and they will try to go with those 2 game balls the whole distance.
So whenever they go into foul territory out of play, you got to track those down. Of course, you do have to have the contingency of a couple of backups. That was a ball and 2 strikes now to Reyes. Here's Bertocci's pitch, grounded down the third base line. It is foul.
Oh, from here it looked like it was still fair.
Still was touching the chalk potentially, but
I thought she picked it up too soon.
Yeah, it looked like it. So Sprague came down the third base line, fielded it. It looked like it might have still had some chalk, but it's a foul ball. So count holds 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's Bertocci's pitch, and a swing and a miss by Reyes for the out. That retires the side. So New Bedford goes down in the second. No runs for the Whalers, 1 hit. There were no Brockton errors, and a runner was left on base after 2 complete. We are scoreless.
So a few years ago, probably at least 5 or 6 years ago, I remember one of the baseball coaches at Fairhaven High School, or maybe it was the athletic director. My kids all played for Fairhaven. I remember him saying at one point that one of the biggest expenses they had was baseballs. You know, because the field there were woods around, so many foul balls went into the woods. If there was a creek in there, and the ball would become unusable. So he said one of the highest budget items for the sports department was the number of baseballs they had to provide.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But that's one of the advantages of having a field located like this one, Pete. There's really no water around. There's no woods. It's very easy to track down anything that goes into foul territory. It might take you some time to get it, but it's not like you're in a wooded area or you have water somehow nearby.
We have the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for Brockton here in the third.
That's the designated player, number 5, Olivia Bilodeau, leading it off here against Gray. Takes a pitch for a strike. So in girls softball, you have a designated player. They don't have to hit for the pitcher. They can hit for anyone on the field. And so Bilodeau is hitting for the center fielder, Montero. Here's a pitch.
And that center fielder goes into the book as being the flex player, what they call the flex.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes here to Bilodeau. Here's the pitch by Gray. Just missing outside. Ball and 2 strikes now to Bilodeau. Top of the 3rd in a scoreless ball game from New Bedford High School. The Whalers taking on Brockton. Here's the pitch. Fastball, and he'll say it's low. Ooh, Gray thought she had that one. Kind of snapped the glove at the ball as it came back to the mound. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
She's looking for her 6th strikeout on the afternoon.
Here's the pitch, fastball and a swing and a miss. Just blew that one right past Bilodeau for out number 1 here in the 3rd.
I think there might have been a little more juice on that, geared toward the umpire.
Yeah, a little anger behind it. Here is Abigail Bertocci, the pitcher for Brockton. It's Gray's pitch, missing low that time. Ball and no strikes. Between innings here, Pete, I'm not sure if you're familiar with all of the rule changes that are being tested in the minor leagues, minor league baseball, but I think they're interesting. Maybe we can chat about those a bit. Swing and a miss there by Bertocci.
We're coming to you on, May 11th, and today was the home opener for the Woo Sox.
The Woo Sox. So Paw Sox, no more. They've moved to Worcester. Here's a pitch, a changeup, call strike.
I did see online that the Oakland Athletics minor league system needs a new field, and people are already suggesting Pawtucket.
Could be interesting, for sure. And there was also a report that Oakland is looking to move. And that's a call, 3rd strike. So Bertocci goes down looking. First strikeout looking here for Gray this afternoon, but 2 away now for Brockton here in the 3rd. So we know Oakland Alameda Coliseum has been there for well over 50 years. And showing a bunt and fouling it off is Skylar O'Connell, the right fielder. And it's a reason.
Here's the last strikeout, as you can see.
The Raiders left. Yeah, you saw it there.
Just at the bottom of the strike zone for Lily. She picks up strikeout number 7.
Here's the pitch by Gray. Ooh, just missed outside.
He called it.
He called it.
Yep.
Okay, so no balls and 2 strikes. So different kind of strike signal there.
The umpire, he says it, and then 3 seconds later the arm goes up.
So no balls and 2 strikes here. Looked like a good pitch. Here's Gray's pitch. Swing and a miss. And
3.
Lily Gray strikes out the side in the 3rd. So Brockton mowed down by Gray again in the 3rd, who now has a total of 8 strikeouts through 3 innings of play. After 2.5 in the books, it's Brockton nothing, New Bedford nothing. Whalers coming up in the bottom of the 3rd with their leadoff hitter, Jenna Noguera, number 8 batter, scheduled for her first plate appearance of the afternoon. So we're talking a bit there about some of the minor league rule experimentations, Pete. So we've known for some time they've been trying the pitch clock, and they need to continue with that. But one of the interesting ones is increasing the size of the bases by 2 inches. So it sounds as if it's insignificant. I mean, another one is move the mound back a foot.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Which there's a real problem in Major League Baseball right now. So for those who are not really stat geeks, since the on-base percentage here so far in 2021 is the lowest since 1968. Wow. So the ERA leader in 1968, which probably most do not know, and the Cy Young Award winner was Bob Gibson. His ERA in 1968 was 1.18. And that was the year that Carl Yastrzemski actually led the American League in hitting at 301. He was the only player that hit over 300 in the American League.
Wow.
So because of that, there's a huge issue right now with strikeouts and contact in Major League Baseball. Pitch from Bertocci misses high, so it's a ball and a strike here to Noguera. Jenna Noguera, the center fielder. Here's the pitch. Ball foul straight back, out of play, right over top our heads here.
Now, you think moving the pitching mound back a foot, do you think that'll have a major effect on pitchers? I think it will at first, but I think they'll adapt.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, you have to do something. Swing and a miss by Noguera. She goes down on strike because baseball, it's starting to be a game where it's feast or famine, and the feast part of it is getting less and less. So everyone's swinging for the fences. There's no trying to put the ball in play, and baseball is losing the nuance of, we've all kind of mocked play some small ball, but that's part of the game.
Right.
Singles, advance the runner, steal a base. Stolen bases are way down because everyone is swinging for the fences. And they're thinking, I don't want to take a shot here at someone getting caught stealing. So swing for the fences. Strikeouts are just astronomical now. And so it's really affecting the gameplay. The ball's not put into play very much in comparison to the way it had been years ago.
When was the last time you saw a hit and run executed?
Yeah, not often. And again, there's no emphasis on it. So they're also looking at things like regulating the shift, and I think that has to happen too. And people,
I've never been a fan of the shift.
No, there should be a rule that you stay. You need X amount of players on each side of the bag.
On that side of the bag, right?
Yeah.
First walk of the game.
So as we digress, Sophia Perry is able to draw a base on balls, and New Bedford has a base runner with one away here in the third. And Sydney Ramos, the shortstop, will step in, the leadoff hitter. Ramos 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Down swinging in the first. Let's see if New Bedford has anything on here with their head coach, Harry Lowe. Ramos takes a pitch for a strike. And again, that very delayed action that you talked about, Pete. Fire says strike. And signals. No balls and a strike here to Ramos. There's a pitch. Ramos lifts one to center field. Back is the center fielder, Montero. She could not get there. Ball runs to the fence. Natal, the left fielder, comes over to grab it. New Bedford's going to send Perry around, and she'll go all the way to the plate and score. And on third base with a 3-base hit, it's Sydney Ramos, and New Bedford has a 1-0 lead.
Perry was running all the way. He thought she might go halfway, but she discovered that the center fielder was having trouble with that ball and that it was going to be over her head and going almost all the way to the fence.
Yeah, Montero misread it a bit, Pete. Looked like she came in initially. Ball was hit directly over her head, and we've played some softball in our day. And when that happens, you can come in before you go out. There's a ball laced into center field. That'll be a base hit. So Kaylee Chenard drives in a run as Sydney Ramos came in across the plate and just tumbled over. She'll go back to the dugout, and everyone will say, okay, Sydney. But New Bedford has a 2-0 lead on a shot right up the middle by Chenard. And it's an RBI single.
Yeah, shot going right up the middle, and the runner off on contact, and the Whalers are up.
And there's Chenard trying to steal a bag, and the ball is dropped on the throw by the shortstop, Porcaro. So a nice throw there by the catcher, Green, for Brockton, but Porcaro drops the throw, and it'll end up being a stolen base for Chenard. New Bedford really turning it on here in the third.
Looked like Chenard might have been caught dead on that, but as you said, the shortstop just did not field the ball and put the tag on. So 1 out, and the Whalers with something cooking again.
And Davis lofts went to center field. Montero's back, and that's off the wall. Davis headed to second base. She'll be there standing to the plate, and a run will score as Chenard came home. Had to hold initially, thinking maybe Montero would get there, but the two-bagger drives home Chenard. And New Bedford now has a 3-0 lead.
But Harry Lowe telling us before the game, it's a young squad I got, which is often, a sign of I do what I can, but, you know, these girls have to develop. And already they're up to a 3-0 lead.
And Chenard looked dominant early, but
this one's going to go all the way to the wall. And then the throw is going to be a little wild, but Lowe is holding the runner at second base anyway, and that's where Davis will be.
Ball really traveling, Pete. That one looked like it was hit okay, but it went all the way to the base of the wall in right center field. And Montero, the center fielder, couldn't get there. Let's see, New Bedford. This is interesting. So Davis was on third base.
So the Brockton coach went to the mound, and I think she's going to make a pitching change.
But Davis went back to second base. She was on third base. So I think they're going to argue that it was a ground rule double. Maybe the ball was pinned at the bottom of the fence.
Under the fence, maybe? Okay.
That's the only thing I can ascertain. Only guess I can come up with is Brockton will make a pitching change here.
So they made the change as they pulled someone in from...
It's the first baseman, Warnsing.
Okay, so Warnsing came in and deposited her first baseman's mitt in her bag and grabbed her regular mitt, so she's going to play pitcher. They're bringing the center fielder, Montero, to first base. And we'll see that our starting pitcher, Abigail Bertocci, is now going to go to center field.
Okay, so a variety of changes here. Bertocci, the pitcher, goes to center. Batting order, of course, is unchanged here. Warnsing, the first baseman, moves to the mound. And Montero, who is playing center field, moves to first base. So, again, the ball really traveling here this afternoon, Pete. That ball looked like it was hit okay, but went all the way to the fence.
Which is 200 feet away. It's 200 feet all the way to left, center, and right. Here at the new Whaler Softball Complex, or field.
Dimensions even across the board here. Here's Warnsing, the lefty. And her first pitch. Change up. And a call strike.
Yeah,
facing Lily Gray here. She singled her first time up.
Brockton coach looking at that lineup and saying, Lily's up next. I should make a change here.
Oh, and Gray gets hit by a pitch. So Warnsing came inside. Gray took it off the elbow. And she'll make her way to first base on the hit by pitch.
Number 8, Abigail Perry.
And New Bedford with runners on first and second with one away. The pinch runner again.
Courtesy runner, yeah.
Of course, the term is, as Pete mentioned, courtesy runner.
Number 5, Lana Arias.
Because in softball, you can re-enter a player. If you make a substitution, you can re-enter a player, but only once. But the game does allow you to have a courtesy runner for the pitcher and catcher.
Here's Warnsing's pitch. Ball fouled off to the right by Perry. Out of play. No balls and a strike here to the New Bedford left fielder, Abigail Perry. She reached on a fielder's choice when her foul pop drifted fair back in the second, and a force out occurred at second base when the ball was dropped. Here's the pitch to Perry. Warnsing misses outside. Ball gets past the catcher, Green, and it'll allow the runners to move along. And now New Bedford with runners on second and third with still only one out.
And that courtesy runner also helps the game of softball move along.
Here's the pitch. And Gray
going with it.
Check that. It was Perry chasing one outside there, trying to go to the right side, but fouled it off.
The way they speed up the game is if your catcher should get with 2 outs, should get a double or single, the catcher can go back and put her gear on.
There's a ball laced into center field. That'll be a base hit.
Should bring
one run will score. The throw here from center field will hold the runner at third, and then to second on the throw. It's Abigail Perry. She drives in a run with an RBI single, and New Bedford now with a 4-0 lead.
Harry Lowe holding up the courtesy runner, Aliana at third.
There's a swing and a miss by Annabelle Houston. So, of course, we have Bertocci in center field, so the pitcher with a good arm. Got the ball in, and Harry knew that, so held the runner. Oh, there's a squeeze bunt. They're going to hold the runner at third, try to get her there, and they're going to say she's out. And Harry was not happy with the base running there by the courtesy runner, Arias. So, had a couple of issues on the base paths here that Harry didn't like. So that time drifted off third base and ended up getting thrown out as throw came to third. There's a slow roller by Reyes. Throw over to first by the third baseman Sprague in time to Montero for the out that retires the side. But New Bedford does come up with 4 runs. I had 4, but maybe it is only 3 here, Pete. I have 1, 2, 3.
I also have 4.
I have 4,
yep.
So it's 4-0 New Bedford. The scoreboard here only has 3, and they announced 3, but it is 4-0.
So many times what you'll see when a coach uses a courtesy runner, he will use someone who maybe has speed, but a lot of times that's a younger player. And I think that's what we just saw with Aliana. Maybe someone who doesn't know the game as well as a...
Very true. It's usually a younger player with some potential and speed.
So you'll see a situation where Harry, who has been using a courtesy runner for Lily, you might see a situation today where Harry decides to let Lily stay in the game and run because
of these first
she's got the years of experience. So she knows the situation and where she should be, whereby the younger player may not.
New Bedford leading it 4-0 here. They've corrected it on the scoreboard. And as Pete mentioned, sometimes they'll make a change here, give that younger player some time to try to understand the nuances of base running. So rightly, Arias held at third when the bunt was handled quickly by Sprague. But the problem was she didn't go entirely back to the bag, and it's hard to understand why. I mean, once you hold, there's no advantage to being, 10 feet off the bag.
Right.
You on a squeeze bunt, you make a decision to come to the plate or to stay. Once you decide to stay, get back to the bag. But she kind of hung out a few feet off the bag, and Sprague made a throw to the shortstop behind her, Porcaro, and she was tagged out. Here's Gray's pitch to lead off the 4th, and it's a call strike to the leadoff hitter, Chloe Livingston. She's 0 for 1 on the afternoon, struck out back in the 1st.
Lily likes going low and outside.
And now she's really heating it up here. That time missed with a fastball. A ball and a strike to Livingston. Again, leading it off here in the 4th. Brockton trailing New Bedford 4-0. Gray is yet to give up a hit. Fouled off into the netting, and you can see Gray starting to really pick up the pace here. She's getting her confidence, Pete. You can see when she hits their hand against the side of her leg there. She's really trying to throw that fastball.
And they will bruise themselves at times on that slap.
Swing and a miss on a rise ball, and Gray has her 9th strikeout of the afternoon.
Number 4, the shortstop, Adriana Porcaro.
My youngest daughter, here you go. Yeah, she brought it up a little higher at the letters to get the strike. My youngest daughter was a pitcher who used to slap her leg with the glove. And if you had a weekend of tournaments, you play Friday night, then Saturday and Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, there's a good bruise on that thigh.
Porcaro at the plate, the shortstop for Brockton. Here's Gray's pitch, swing and a miss.
Took a little something off that.
Ball and 2 strikes to Adriana Porcaro.
She was the 2nd strikeout of the afternoon back in the 1st inning.
Here's the pitch. Oh, there's the changeup, floated high.
Yeah, that one just floated a little too much.
Gray likes to throw that changeup up high. It's in the batter's eyes, and so what happens is it looks so good you go after it. If your timing's off, you have no chance. And again, swing and a miss, and Gray has another strikeout, now her 10th of the afternoon.
The box is number 19, the catcher,
Yeah, you change the eye level, you change the speed, and it's working for it today.
Hitting is about timing more than anything else. Why fastball is still the greatest pitch. There's a ball fouled off to the right, twisting out of play. Missed all the vehicles stationed in that area. Gray popped out to the shortstop in the first. No balls and a strike here to Green. Laced one. Foul down the left field line. Well foul, but that ball was absolutely crushed by Green.
It looked like she adjusted her stance at the last minute, maybe opened it up a little more, which might have sent that ball foul.
Here's a changeup now. Let's see if I'm remembering from my coaching days. Batter's way ahead of a pitch. Nope, stayed low. That ball was absolutely smashed foul. Now, again, I didn't see maybe that was a changeup, so they decided to stay away from it. But usually when someone's way out in front of a pitch, you come back with a changeup the next pitch. There's a ball fouled off to the right. Now, Gray is staying with the fastball, so obviously they feel that it can't come with off-speed stuff here. And that's one of the main reasons why in Major League Baseball, the contact rate is way, way down. Pitchers are throwing so hard, not worried about going extended innings. You have teams with 13 pitchers on the roster.
Right.
So they bring in a guy to pitch 1 inning and another one to pitch 1 inning. So they throw as hard as they can for that inning. There's a fastball missing outside.
She wanted that one, too. You see her little skip at the end.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Caroline Green on deck. Hyombi Warnsing. Here's the pitch. And reaching and fouling one off was Green. That ball looked like it might have been outside. But Green stays alive.
That's a good at-bat, though, because the way he's been calling some of these, it could have gone either way.
Green's not taking a chance here. Gray fiddling with the ball. Here's her pitch. Change up, laced into center field for a base hit.
First hit of the afternoon.
So tried the change up, and it's apparent that Green likes off speed. And she saw that change up, stayed back on it, Pete, and just laced it to the right of the second baseman for New Bedford, Perry. And Brockton has their first hit of the afternoon.
Now, Wormsing did strike out last time up in the second inning.
But Warnsing is the number 4 hitter. Here's Gray's pitch. Missing low in the dirt. Blocked there by Davis, the New Bedford catcher. Yeah, but contact rate down so much, and a lot of it has to do with pitching. That's why one of the thoughts is move the mound back a foot, and you have to do something here soon. Swing and a miss by Warnsing. Games are long without much action, and that's the whole problem when you start to compare other sports like hockey and basketball and football, where you still have a lot of the younger people engaged, but not so much in baseball.
That was a strike low.
There's a strike.
I think you and I have talked before about how almost all of the other sports have made changes. But baseball continues to say, we've never done it like that before.
No, and that is true. And that's why they put Theo Epstein. There's a ball lifted into left field. In comes a left fielder for New Bedford. Perry could not make the grab. Onto third, it's Green, and Warnsing into second base. It'll be an error for the left fielder, Perry. 2-base error, and it gives Brockton a chance here to put some runs on the board.
Perry was under it, but just popped out of her glove. I know coaches for years preached use 2 hands in the outfield, and that was a case where she only went with 1, and it popped out. It is a very windy afternoon here in New Bedford.
Here's the pitch from Gray. Swing and a miss by the left fielder, Cadence Natal. She struck out back in the second. Did reach on a pass ball, but ended up caught stealing. So until this inning, Gray had faced the minimum number of batters. But now there's runners on second and third with 2 outs and a swing and a miss there by Natal. And it's 0-2 to Cadence Natal with 2 away here for Brockton in the fourth. The runner on third is Caroline Green. On second base, it's Kaomi Wernsing. And an 0-2 count on the number 5 hitter, Cadence Natal. Here's the pitch by Gray. Rolled foul down the first baseline, handled by the New Bedford first baseman Annabelle Houston. But the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes.
So will she send her changeup that has fooled the boxers quite a few times, or come with the heat?
I would say the fastball this time. Foul straight back into the netting. So Natal stays alive. You can see the hitters for both squads starting to get their timing a bit better against the pitching here.
First game of the season for New Bedford. Second game of the year for Brockton.
Here's the pitch by Gray. Swing and a miss. A fastball that she blows by Cadence Natal for the out that retires the side. So Brockton does threaten in the fourth and strands 2 base runners. But after 3.5 innings of play, the score remains New Bedford 4 and Brockton nothing.
So a few of the changes you mentioned for minor league baseball, one of them increasing the size of the base. Now, with the exception of maybe helping out at first base, how does that?
Well, if every base is 2 inches bigger.
Every base, okay.
So now it does help at first, obviously, all around. So
right.
To get the first base, you're running actually 2 inches less.
Softball has a safety bag where the runner goes for the right side, which is the orange bag, and the fielder, of course, has the white bag. But if you increase
all of the bases by 2 inches.
Yes, that helps with stealing, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it's for, Pete.
Okay.
They're thinking maybe you're going to increase, stealing a little bit. And I'm sure they're apprehensive about saying, well, let's make it, a foot bigger.
Right.
So they're starting off and thinking, well, if each base is 2 inches bigger, the distance from first to second is 4 inches shorter. So instead of 90 feet, it would be 89 feet. And let's see, 8 inches.
8, yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I guess I'm a little undecided.
Yeah,
about that.
I don't know if that's going to work, to be honest with you, because you got to encourage the team to do something. So I don't know how that will encourage the base stealing, but it's something they're trying. Moving the mound back a foot.
I'm curious about that, yeah.
So to go back to 1968, when they had that record-setting year of the lowest on-base percentage and ERAs that were absolutely unbelievable. Batting averages, as I said, Carl Yastrzemski hitting .301 to lead the American League. And they lowered the mound. So to decrease the angle of the pitcher's pitch to the plate, and it made a difference right away.
This is a substitution as Aliana. What's her last name?
Arias.
Aliana Arias is batting for Jenna Noguera.
There's a pitch missing outside. A ball and a strike. Arias.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Arias here was the pinch runner several times for Lily Gray, but now she gets a plate appearance, Pete.
I was just going back to the thing about moving the mound. I'm just concerned with all of these pitchers that are throwing 100 miles an hour plus. I can't see them having long careers.
No. And again, I think another factor that at least plays into it is the medical procedures, the ability to have Tommy John surgery or shoulder repair if you have a torn rotator cuff. So Arias draws a walk. The ability to have that type of surgery and to come back and be as good as you ever were, probably better with greater velocity, encourages players to try to throw as hard as they can. They're not afraid, like, if I blow my arm out, that's it, I'm done.
Yep.
So there's no reason to hold back. It's like, yeah, I'll get hurt. I'll miss a year.
But you're seeing teenagers have Tommy John surgery. And
Yes, you are.
I just don't think that's right.
Yeah. It's certainly got to be a concern. But again, they even know that Tommy John surgery, generally when that ligament gets replaced, they throw faster when they come back. There's a pitch that misses up high.
She did not, Sophia Perry did not show the bunt on that.
Arias on first with no one out here.
We'll have to see if Harry's trying to get his runner from first to third. Here's a bunt show, and it's high.
Runner Arias holds at first. Bottom of the fourth. Perry's at the plate with no one out. Runner on first base is Arias. Bedford leading at 4-0. Change-up and a call strike. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Sophia Perry.
I did hear Katie Balboni telling her shortstop, you have to get the third if she gets the bunt down.
Here's the pitch, missing outside from Warren Singh that time. So count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I would come right at her. I mean, she's the number 9 hitter.
You would think.
Smaller statue.
There's a fastball that stays up high, and she walked her. So back-to-back walks by Warren Singh.
Never a good sign if you walk batters 8 and 9.
Number 1, Sydney Ramus.
No. So now we have Arias on second base and Perry on first with no one out. And the leadoff hitter, Sydney Ramus, coming to the plate. Ramus had an RBI triple in the third. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Here's the pitch from Warren Singh. And it's a call strike. Change up on the outside corner. A ball and no strikes to Ramus. It's New Bedford's season opener. They're leading at 4-0. Here's Warren Singh's pitch. That time missing outside. A ball and a strike. So yeah, the changes that have to happen, and Pete, you mentioned other sports make changes constantly if you think about it. Baseball has hesitated for a long time. There's a ball driven to right field. Back the right fielder.
Tough.
Not there. Ball goes to the wall. Ramos will have a double and drive in her second run of the afternoon as Arias came across to score. And New Bedford now leads it 5-0.
Shout out to right field, which, of course, as is with a lot of fields, the right field is the sun field.
Right fielder, number 7.
And you can see the right fielder for Brockton O'Connell trying to get there and just shading her eyes.
Here she is.
Had no idea where it was.
Harry Lowe's already calling to send his runners, but credit Brockton with getting the ball back in quickly. And Harry held up the runner at third, so runners on second and third with nobody out.
Especially with no one out. And Kaylee Chenard, the number 2 hitter, the right fielder, stepping in. She had an RBI single back in the third. So New Bedford really starting to crank up the offense here now. Has runners on second and third with no one out here in the fourth, leading at 5-0. Here's Warren Singh's pitch. Swing and a miss. That time the changeup chopped at by Chenard. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Kaylee. Here's Warren Singh's pitch. Ball foul straight back, out of play.
That gave a nice solid bounce right behind us.
That means it didn't hit the roof of any vehicles nearby.
And our van is safe so far.
For another pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Kaylee Chenard. New Bedford leading at 5-0. Bottom of the fourth. Ball laced to left center field. That'll be back, and a nice grab there by the left fielder that time, Natal. Ball was well struck by Chenard, but Natal was there and made a nice catch.
Solid off the bat by Chanel.
13, Amelia Davis.
But as you said, well played out in left field. Let's see here, she's got to be happy that contact, that swing. It just went right at her.
But it was right at Natal as the ball falls straight back by New Bedford's catcher, Amelia Davis, she had an RBI double in the third, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. New Bedford has runners on second and third, still with only 1 out. Here's Warren Singh's pitch. Ball lifted to right field.
Sunfield.
The right fielder there, O'Connell, makes the grab this time. The runner at third will tag for New Bedford, and Chenard will come across the plate. Check that. It was Perry who will come across the score, and New Bedford expands their lead to 6-0 on the sacrifice fly by Amelia Davis.
Amelia Davis picking up a good RBI. She held back on that pitch, and was able to send it to right field.
I mean, that's just good baseball, even though this is softball.
Yep.
And so New Bedford here playing that game that we're talking about missing in the major leagues. I mean, again, tagging from third, things like that. Runners, batters now, they have a runner on third with less than 1 out. They swing the same exact way. There's a ball laced into left field. That'll be a base hit by Gray. New Bedford's going to send a runner to the plate, and across comes Ramos, and the Whalers now lead it 7-0.
Nice solid hit by Lily Gray,
Now batting the left fielder,
who gets her courtesy
number 8,
runner once again.
Abigail Perry.
Arias is the pinch runner. Here's the pitch.
Foul back.
Foul straight back by Abigail Perry, the number 5 hitter, the left fielder. She's 1 for 2 on the afternoon, has an RBI single. Whalers really pouring it on here now, leading 7-0. Here's the pitch from Warren Singh. Ball laced down the right field line, but foul.
They're taking what she gives them, and they're going with those outside pitches to right field.
That's why fastball is still the best pitch, Pete. Once batters can figure out your speed and your velocity, they put the ball into play, and we're seeing it here from New Bedford now. At least early on when they had Bertocci on the mound, Whalers were a bit stymied, but Warren Singh, they really have her timed up. There's a ball laced to center field. That's going to be a base hit. Stopping at second.
This is the second look for a lot of these batters at this pitcher.
Stopping at second is Arias, and New Bedford now has runners on first and second with 2 outs as Annabelle Houston steps in. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Houston swing and a miss. And you can see there's no real issue for New Bedford against Warren Singh as far as being able to catch up with their pitches, and that's when it really creates a problem in softball. Here's a pitch. Houston laces one to right field. That'll be back to the wall. 2 hops the wall. A run will score here. Coming across is Arias. They'll send the runner from third, and across the plate for New Bedford, it's Abigail Perry, and it's a 2-run double by New Bedford's Annabelle Houston, and the Whalers now lead it 9-0.
Back to the Whalers. Third baseman, 12.
See, second or third time they've gone to right field, and the right fielder having a bit of an issue with the sun, but I think that was over her head right off the bat.
That was a ball that was just laced as falling it off to the right. It's Essence Reyes. Reyes 0 for 2 on the afternoon.
So watch this go out to right field. Harry Lowe's is excited, send them all. And the throw coming into the infield, but not before 2-run score for the Whalers.
Pitch missing high. Reyes takes.
So the team obviously happy with this, and Harry Lowe must be also, but there have been a couple of things, and he's going to work on them tomorrow.
The ball missing outside. 1 ball. And a strike to Reyes. Take that, a ball and 2 strikes now to Reyes. Here's the pitch from Warren Singh. Swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes to Essence Reyes with 2 away here in the 4th for New Bedford.
Reyes, the 9th batter this inning.
Fouls it straight back. Runner on second for New Bedford is Annabelle Houston. Over in 2 with a double. Her first hit of the young season. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Essence Reyes still looking for her first hit of the season. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup, and she'll go down on strikes for the out. That retires the side. But New Bedford adding 4 more runs there in the 4th. The Whalers' bats coming alive the last 2 innings, and now after 4 innings complete, it's New Bedford leading it 9-0.
So what are your thoughts about the Major League actually adopting a softball rule in the 10th inning, now starting the 10th inning with a runner on second?
Yeah, so again, I'm fine with trying something.
Yep.
In the minor leagues, they actually, what they do after that is they put runners, I believe, on
second, third, in the 11th?
Yeah. And I mean, they just want so okay, if you're going to do that, don't tell me you're not messing with the game. So you are, which is perfectly fine because you understand, okay, and the players are fine with it because they want, we just wanted this to be over. But,
well, if
you know, as far as the other things that you have to do those and say, okay, well, the players like to take that. No, well, you know what, you guys got to start playing at a faster pace. It's not all about the players because without the fans, there are no players. And, you know, everything is skewing older and older, especially for baseball. Sports in general, a lot of the sports are skewing as far as viewership to older fans. But baseball is really, really doing that, Pete. So for us, you know, sometimes it's not as much of a problem as it is for others, but.
Right. How about that? There was a quote, a tweet by Alex Cora this year, where he was, I guess, doubleheaders are now 7 innings. Because of COVID, I assume.
Yes.
When they asked Alex Cora how he felt about the games being only 7 innings, and he would like to see every game be 7 innings, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's really radical, but, I mean, I think you should do everything else. Here's a pitch, missing low, because then you're affecting all of the statistics dramatically, which baseball has always been the #1 sport to look at, the records and to talk about all of those types of statistics as being so valuable. Here's a pitch fouled off to the right.
Well, it would create a situation where there would have to be, I guess, an asterisk in the scorebooks.
Yeah, it's a dramatic change. I think the 1 foot even on the mound is dramatic, but it's not the end of the world because you just do it in Major League Baseball. So every other level, let them pitch, you know, at 60 feet 6 inches. Just make it 61 feet 6 inches in the major leagues, and if that gives, I think it's about 1/10 of a second that it would allow a batter to be able to judge a pitch longer. I mean, other than that, you've got to come up with ways to restrict. You know, what are you going to do? You're going to tell teams they can only have 10 pitchers, and
right.
I mean, there are so many pitchers now on the roster. Teams are only putting 1 or 2 bench players on a roster, maybe 3, and they're just putting it all into pitching. Looks like Brockton is making a change here.
Yeah. She's in place of the designated hitter, or the DP,
so you're
Olivia
stepping in
Bilodeau.
here now. It's number 9, Samantha Wuschke. So Wuschke stepping in for Bilodeau.
Lily Gray now with
Call strike.
12 strikeouts on the afternoon.
No balls on a strike here. 1 away for Brockton. Samantha Wuschke, first appearance of the afternoon, facing Lily Gray. Here's her pitch. All foul straight back into the netting. So I think they have to start doing something. They put Theo Epstein in charge of that, so he's trying all of these various things in the minor leagues. I think a lot of them have to be implemented. The shot clock,
Pitch clock.
The pitch clock has to be
like
implemented.
That,
Has to be. And you got to tell everyone, hey, it's the same for everyone. Stop complaining. There's a pitch that misses. Nope, they'll say that's a call, 3rd strike.
So that is strikeout number 13 for Lily Gray.
Wuschke goes down on strikes. This time it's looking as Gray continues to mow them down here for New Bedford. And Abigail Bertucci, the center fielder now, steps in 0 for 1 on the afternoon.
Gray's had 2 strikeouts where they caught the batter looking.
Pitch misses that time, but they have to start doing something. There was, again, I'm not going to recall it exactly, but there was in spring training, there was an inning where We got a break here. Here's a pitch by Gray.
Just missed.
No.
He called it.
No, it was a strike. So again, that delayed signal looked like it might have been a ball, but a call strike to Bertocci. We'll get to that thought in a minute here. Here's Gray's pitch. Swing and a miss by Bertocci. Ball and 2 strikes now to Abigail. Skylar O'Connell, the right fielder, is on deck. Brockton has had 1 hit on the afternoon against Lily Gray. Gray checks her wristband, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Bertocci goes down on strikes, this time swinging. And that'll do it here for Brockton in the 5th. New Bedford continues to lead it 9-0. So what happened was there was an inning where a ball was not put into play. The bases were filled. There were all of the outs were strikeouts, and it took a total of 32 minutes. So a ball was never put into play to record an out.
Right.
And the bases were full, and all of the batters struck out, and it took 32 minutes. So you didn't see any play other than the pitcher throwing the ball to the catcher.
Yep.
And it took 32 minutes. And I mean, that's the problem summed up for Major League Baseball. If you're not playing the contact game, everyone again is swinging like we're going to swing for the fences.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're saying the ball is deadened, and you're going to have to deaden it. There's no choice. You probably have to make it even more so over the next few years. Because if the ball stays this side of the fence, then batters are going to have to start adjusting their approach. But back in 1968, they lowered the mound, Pete. I think it was, and it was very significant. Right after that, averages started to return, and so that was their approach, and they're going to have to try something new here.
I think we're seeing another substitution here for the Lady Whalers. Harry Lowe going to his bench. Is this Lauren Mitchell, number 11, coming up to hit?
Let's see here. Hair in the way, but it is Lauren Mitchell, number 11.
So she will bat in place of Jenna Noguera.
Number 11, Lauren Mitchell.
Mitchell's first at bat.
Batting for Noguera. Here's the pitch by Warnsing, and Mitchell swing and a miss. Waved at one.
Out ahead of that one. They're in the bottom of the 5th.
Game's moving on at a good pace. Here's the pitch from Warnsing, and Mitchell again ahead of that one a bit. Off-speed pitch. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to Lauren Mitchell. On deck is the second baseman, Sophia Perry. New Bedford leading at 9-0. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss by Mitchell. Ball was bobbled by the catcher, Green, but gets it to first base to Montero in time for the out.
Now batting for the Whalers, number 3, Sophia Perry.
Perry has scored twice. She was walked in the 4th and the 3rd, but scored both times.
Ball lifted into shallow right field. The right fielder, O'Connell, in for Brockton to make the grab for the out. 2 away quickly for New Bedford.
The box is making a change out in right field.
Here's Sydney Ramus, 2 for 3 on the afternoon. RBI triple in the 3rd, RBI double in the 4th. 2 away here quickly for New Bedford. There's a ball lifted to center field over the head of the center fielder, Bertocci. Ramos to second base. She'll be there standing. Her 3rd extra base hit of the afternoon. Sydney Ramos on fire here this afternoon.
She was helped on that by Bertocci again. First step never in. We heard that how many times growing up, but she made a few steps in, read it wrong, and it got over her head, and a double for Sydney.
So with 2 away, Ramos on second, Chenard at the plate. Chenard is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Chops one at the plate. Pitcher Warnsing there, throws the first. In time for the out, to the plate it's Ramos, but that was out number 3, I believe. So I don't know why they threw it to the plate.
In case the first baseman missed it or whatever.
And that's the out that retires the side. So New Bedford held scoreless there in the 5th for the first time in 3 innings, but they're still leading it 9-0. If you're scoring that, which I don't know how many people still score, but it's 1-3 on the putout.
It was easy enough for me to find scoring sheets for us today, just Googling baseball scorebook template, and they come up. But you're right. It is a lost art of scoring games.
Once upon a time, that's how you knew what happened in every game. You would just take a look at the box score. And I think some of the supposed advanced metrics are really hurting baseball especially. Because everyone thinks that,
launch angle and all that.
Spin rate. And so it's emphasizing things that, maybe are true. Like spin rate now is the big thing, in addition to velocity, because the more the ball is spinning, obviously the greater the break on a breaking ball or whatever, and everyone knew that, but now the emphasis is on that more than like I'm going to throw a good breaking ball and put it in a good spot. So, you start to emphasize that. There's been the debate that are some illegal type substances being used that no one is catching right now to increase the grip on the baseball. And so I think, the obvious one is when they say the baseball was juiced, they're going to have to unjuice some of it and just, accept the fact that you can't have as many home runs as you're having when the rest of the game is not being played the way it should.
Number 21, Catherine Green, is now in for Skylar O'Connell.
So batting for the right fielder, that's Green.
First time we've seen her today.
Catherine Green off the bench. No balls and a strike to Green. Here's the pitch. Ball rolled to third base. Picked up there by New Bedford's third baseman Reyes. Over to first base in time for the out.
So a 5-3 to start off the 6th inning. We play 7.
I'll bat for Brockton. Number 6, Chloe Livingston.
Here's Chloe Livingston checking in.
Chloe has struck out in her 2 previous appearances. Lily Gray is going for strikeout number 15.
Pitching a 1-hitter here this afternoon. Lone hit of the afternoon. Single by the number 3 hitter for Brockton, the catcher Caroline Green.
The Lady Whalers are going to rely on Lillian a lot this season.
Is a pitch fouled off. So Lily ball and a strike now to Livingston.
Coach Harry Lowe telling me before the game, it's a young team. He has only 4 players that have any varsity experience. 2 of them, Lillian Gray, and of course the shortstop, Sydney Ramos.
The ball rolled right side, taken there by the New Bedford second baseman Perry. Gets it to Houston in time for the out. And there's 2 away here for Brockton quickly in the 6th.
Well, the defense has been there so far this inning.
Now batting for the boxes. Number 4, Adriana Porcaro.
Adriana Porcaro has also been a strikeout victim twice for the Boxers this afternoon. As the Coast Guard flies overhead.
Here's Gray's pitch. The ball fouled down
Playable.
the first base line. It stayed, as Pete mentioned, in playable territory, but no one able to get there. Houston or the second baseman Perry not able to get there. So a ball and no strikes here to Adriana Porcaro.
I always found that one of the hardest plays to coach.
Swing and a miss by Porcaro on a high fastball.
That used to be I used to call it my dreaded corner. As you would try to get your first baseman, second baseman, and right fielder to go after that. It was so hard to practice that, though, to try to place it there.
Yeah, doesn't happen that often. Swing and a miss by Porcaro. She goes down on strikes, and the side is retired. So Brockton down in order in the 6th, and after 5.5 innings of play, it's New Bedford 9 and Brockton nothing.
Hit my share of fly balls as a baseball coach
Yeah.
in the rec leagues.
For sure,
and,
for sure, Pete.
AAA. And
Hopefully you've been noticing the music here this afternoon.
Yes.
They've been like in your wheelhouse.
yeah, a little old school. Tavares here.
Yeah, from the days of when we were over at WNBH. Yeah.
I got a little
And,
nostalgic.
Of course, the FM side, Pete,
Yeah.
where you spent a lot of your time.
I got a little nostalgic the other day. I went online and I happened to come across some of the old equipment we used to use back in the 70s.
For sale?
Yes.
Not our equipment.
But I
though.
don't have $4,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have some of
The reel-to-reels?
what was called a Gates control board that
Okay,
actually
yep.
had knobs that
That
you
had the
turned.
dials. Yep,
They
I
were
remember that.
They were called potentiometers. We used to call them pots.
Yeah, Pete. Yeah, pots.
Yep.
Potentiometers. Of course, it was shortened to pots, and then you
But
had
if you've got $4,000 to lend me, I can get it off eBay.
Okay. Then you had the carts, right?
Yes.
You played everything on carts. All the commercials were on carts,
And I was
which were really basically eight
track tapes.
tapes. Yeah. And then the stories, of course, from the days of comedy radio. It wasn't intended to be comedic, but on occasion it was.
Aliana Arias.
But yeah, all of those, yeah. The Gates board, yeah. I remember Pete in there with, he used to have the dial marked off, like here's the sweet spot. You put a little mark there, a little hash. Like here's the sweet spot for volume. Here's the pitch by Wernsing.
We're seeing Aliana Arias again. This time, I've got her batting for Davis, the catcher.
So
This might be, again, one of those substitutions. Harry can put her in and then can re-enter the catcher.
re-enter the catcher. So
For
giving
defense.
Arias an at-bat here. Giving everyone a chance here to get some playing time. Here's the pitch from Wernsing, and Arias just off the end of the bat fouls it back.
So it's been a good home opener for the Lady Whalers here on their brand new field.
Wernsing, here's her pitch. Ball bounced back to the box. Wernsing handles it over to the first baseman Sprigg for the out. So Sprigg has moved over to first base here.
For 22.
She was at third base.
Had to bring up Lily Gray, who has one hit on the afternoon. She was hit by a pitch. I'm sorry, 2 hits on the afternoon and scored a run.
Here's Gray and the pitch from Wernsing. So Brockton made some additional position changes. We have Natal now at third base, number 1. So they moved several players around here after an additional switch when they made their pitching change. There's a ball on the outside.
Looks like also a young team for the Boxers.
Certainly. And again, it's all about 2 things in softball. Number one is pitching. You have a dominant pitcher, you're
Yep.
in every game.
Yes,
if you
sir.
don't have dominant pitching, you're going to have a hard time.
If you don't have
And you-
exceptional defense, yes.
Yeah, and then you need good defense, but you need that one dominant pitcher. You don't need multiple.
No.
No, because their arm, since you're throwing
It's a
underhand,
different angle.
yep, you're not stressing that shoulder, that labrum and rotator cuff like you do when you pitch. 3 balls and a strike here to Gray
So you can actually run the whole season with one pitcher.
with one pitcher.
And many teams have done that.
That's why if you have one dominant pitcher,
You're in every game.
yeah, you can win every game. You're certainly in every game.
You'll see a lot if you watch college softball on ESPN. You'll see a lot of teams with that one pitcher.
It's all about one pitcher. As Gray goes down on strikes. So Wernsing with a strikeout of Lily Gray.
Now batting.
Out number 1 here.
Number 8, Abigail Perry.
Out number 2 here in the 6th. And Abigail Perry, the left fielder, will step in. Here's Wernsing's pitch. Ground ball by Perry. Goes off the glove of the second baseman into right field for a base hit. So reaching is Perry. We'll have to change that actually to an E4, an error on the second baseman, Livingston. 2 away, New Bedford has a runner on first.
Yeah, Livingston just didn't get down on that ball.
Here's Houston. She'll ground one to third. Natal there fires to first. The ball was dropped at first base. And so New Bedford's Houston will reach. And again, you're going to have to say that's an E5. It was a bobble by the third baseman.
And then the throw.
Houston, and then the throw a bit low. And New Bedford now with 2 base runners on back-to-back Brockton errors as Essence Reyes steps in. Warnsing's pitch, a call strike. Reyes still looking for her first hit on the season. 2 away for New Bedford here in the 6th. There's the pitch by Warnsing up high. A ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. Ball grounded to first, taken there by the first baseman. Will step on the bag for the out. That retires the side.
Will is 9.
So we go to the top of the 7th inning. And Brockton will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters. But again, only 1 hit on the afternoon, given up by New Bedford's Lily Gray, who is in her junior season. So she will have this year and next year for Harry Lowe.
As Pete mentioned, she came up when she was an 8th grader. So we saw her, I remember doing a game over at the old field when Lily was an 8th grader. Now she's a junior, so we'll have a full season next year. We're under the assumption that everything will be back to normal. You get 20 games, you'll be able to go to the state tournament, which is badly needed.
I think they only have about half of that planned for this year.
It's the way it's been for all of the sports, about half schedules, and then any of the what they call playoffs have been local with the teams that are in their area. So
they're not traveling.
No one travels, and you don't go on to any state type of tournament. Davis indeed has returned to catching for New Bedford.
So it has been strange with a few new rules in the different sports, and all the players here with their masks on today, but at least the kids had a chance to play.
Yep.
Something they did not have a chance to do last year.
Definite improvement over 2020. Caroline Green will step in, the number 3 hitter for Brockton. Has the lone hit on the afternoon, 1 for 2. For Brockton, that lone hit, a single, back in the 4th. And Gray bounces one.
Yeah, that one slipped out of her hand. That's not like her.
No. Looking for the complete game shutout here, Lily Gray. Here's the pitch. Fastball missing high and outside. So Gray, you can tell here, trying to juice it up a bit against Green, who hit a long fly ball, well foul in that last at bat when she singled, and then ended up lacing one to right field on a changeup for the lone Brockton hit. As a ball laced into right field, that'll be a base hit. That one's going to go all the way to the fences. Tracked there by New Bedford Chenard, but at second base with a stand-up double, it'll be Caroline Green. And Brockton has a runner in scoring position to lead off the 7th.
So Green with both of the 2 hits today, given up by Lily and Green.
And she stays back on the pitch so well, Pete. You can see there, that was a fastball, and she drove it to right center field.
In the gap, so it wasn't a case of it getting over the head of either outfielder.
Gray's pitch and a swing and a miss by Kaomi Warnsing. The pitcher now for Brockton, 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Did reach on an error in the 4th. Here's the pitch by Gray. Warnsing, soft foul back into the netting. No balls and 2 strikes quickly to Warnsing.
And again, if you hear some numbers being called out, those are numbers from the dugout, from the pitching coach, who I know in previous years has been her father, Lily's father, and he will call out 3 numbers. That means the pitch and the location.
There's a ball laced into left field. That'll be a base hit for Warnsing. So Brockton now with runners on first and third with no one out. Wernsing stayed back on that one and just poked it into left field. And Brockton has runners on first and third with no one out here in the 7th.
So is it the case that Brockton has their timing a little better after 6 innings of seeing Lily, or possibly we could see Lily tiring a bit?
Yeah, both, I would say, Pete. Is the ball chopped at the plate? Your timing, of course, gets better, and that's one of the things that's troubling Major League Baseball. So even when the pitcher doesn't tire, you're only seeing pitchers sometimes 2 at-bats. They've got the statistics to say that in the 3rd time through the lineup, here's what happens. So they try to avoid have a pitcher facing someone 3 times in a game, and they bring in relief, and then there's someone else that you got to adjust to their timing, and that's been the part of the sabermetrics impact to the game of baseball.
So as I was saying before, from the dugout, the pitching coach calls out 3 numbers. One of them is what pitch he wants. The other is what area he wants. The plate is all broken down into quadrants.
No balls and 2 strikes here. Ball grounded toward short. Ramos charges. Will try to fire to first, and not in time. It'll be an infield single and an RBI for Cadence Natal, and Brockton has a run on the board, trailing it 9-1. Harry Lowe's going to go out and take a couple minutes to chat with Lily Gray and bring her infield over.
He's going to remind everyone that, hey,
let's finish this game.
It's 9-1 now. Let's just get 3 outs. So Coach Harry Lowe, who has been the head coach here at New Bedford High School over 30 years. I spoke to Harry, I think it was last Thanksgiving, when there was no Thanksgiving football game, because Harry has been on the staff of the football team for, again, 30 or 40 years. And I spoke to him about what it was like to have Thanksgiving with no game, and he said it was a big adjustment.
There were many of those last year throughout this past, I'd say probably about 15 months now. So Brockton has gone to the bench. This is Anika DeGrace, takes a pitch for a strike. First at bat of the afternoon for DeGrace. She's the new first baseman.
So you see Lily looks at her wristband, and she has a list of all the numbers and what her coach wants.
No balls and a strike. I checked that, a ball and a strike now to DeGrace.
Catcher, by the way, also has it. It's good for them to know what's coming.
Yes, indeed. A necessity. Swing and a miss there by DeGrace. So it's a ball and 2 strikes now to Annika DeGrace. No one out for Brockton here in the 7th. They have a run on the board, trailing at 9-1. Here's the pitch in the dirt. So Lily is
She's
definitely
having trouble with that pitch.
Definitely tiring a bit here. Ball has been low on several occasions and has now bounced a couple.
Nobody out. 9-1 New Bedford.
Here's the pitch. And taken for a ball. Runners will advance as it got past the catcher Davis for New Bedford. And 2nd and 3rd now. New Bedford getting a bit sloppy here, Pete, in the 7th inning. Still, obviously, with an 8-run lead. Nothing really in danger yet, but you don't like to see sloppy play. And I'm sure, as you've mentioned, Harry, several times, focusing in on the things that need to be corrected. We'll be all over these tomorrow. Slow roller to first base. They'll let the run score as Houston steps to the bag for the out unassisted. And out number 1 for New Bedford. Run will score, and so an RBI will be credited to DeGrace on the ground out. Here's Samantha Wuschke.
She went in the 5th.
0 for 1. There's Gray's pitch. Missing low.
No,
No,
he called it.
It was a strike. Okay. No balls on a strike here.
Our home plate umpire has been a challenge for us today.
Sometimes it's faster than other
Yeah.
times, so sometimes we're just a bit off. Here's Gray's pitch, swing and a miss. Throw to third and back safely is Cadence Natal for Brockton. No balls and 2 strikes here to Samantha Wuschke. Abigail Bertocci on deck, or scheduled, I should say.
Breeze is blowing out now.
Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss. And Wuschke is down on strikes for the second time this afternoon.
You see the throw down to third from the catcher on the replay and just diving back. So she's still on third base.
So 2 away here now for Brockton. Gray trying to wrap this one up. Top of the 7th. Here's Gray's pitch to Bertocci. Abigail Bertocci, a swing and a miss. Bertocci 0 for 2 on the afternoon. He struck out twice, 1 of each type, looking and then swinging.
And that last strikeout was number 16 on the afternoon for Lily Gray.
Here's the pitch. Swing, foul tip, not in the mitt, but it doesn't matter at this point. It's only strike 2, so no balls and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire giving the catcher a little bit of a break here. Davis is
flexing her thumb a little.
Yeah, ball was just a foul tip, not into the mitt, so banged her thumb a bit. No balls and 2 strikes here to Abigail Bertocci. Gray trying to wrap this one up and give New Bedford a win here in the opener of the 2021 season. Here's Gray's pitch. Swing and a miss. Bertocci goes down on strikes for the 3rd time this afternoon. And Lily Gray able to pitch New Bedford to a 9-2 victory here at New Bedford High School as the 2021 season for head coach Harry Lowe and his squad comes off on a successful note.
Harry told us before the game started that he had a young squad who only had 4 players that have ever had varsity experience, but they come out against a young Brockton team and they have success here this afternoon. Behind the pitching of Lillian Gray, 17 strikeouts in the afternoon. And as you see, New Bedford 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Brockton with 2 runs, 4 hits, and it was pretty much a one-hitter until that 7th inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Brockton Boxers.
And the hitting stars for New Bedford, Sydney Ramos with 3 hits on the afternoon, 3 for 4 performance here for the leadoff hitter and shortstop Sydney Ramos. 3 extra base hits. And for New Bedford, Abigail Perry had a pair of singles. New Bedford takes it, their home opener and the season opener in 2021, 9-2 over Brockton. For my partner, Pete Braley, for all of our staff here at the New Bedford Cable Network, I'm Joe Cabral. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Join us again on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. when we'll bring you Whalers softball once again. Again, the final score, New Bedford 9 and Brockton 2. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.